So, ready three. Hey Deepesh, mute पे तू just in case. ये ना इतना टेक्नोलॉजिकली चैलेंज है ना बंदा.
अबे ये क्या दे वो अबे मिस्टेक है सबसे होता है बेंच.
अबे क्या क्या मिस्टेक किया मुझे भी जानना है अभी.
म्यूट पे था वो.
अरे मैं म्यूट पे रख दिया वो गलती
सही
से.
बात है भाई, बड़े बड़े
अबे
सीईओज
फिर
भी म्यूट पे रख के
मैं
बात
करता
करते
हूँ.
भाई पॉडकास्ट ब्लूपर सीरीज.
हैं. चलो रेडी 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone, finally we are back yet again for the annual pre-season podcast. First of all, already disclaimer, I have got pink eyes. New good word, better word for conjunctivitis, pink eyes. I've got pink eyes, so
Hashtag Barbie.
that's why the specs are not trying to flash or flex, not flash, flex, sorry. So yeah, I like to
दिख
welcome
नहीं
the
रहा है
panel.
but pink.
दिख जाएगा, दिखाओ क्या?
ऐसे नहीं फैलेगा ना क्योंकि.
क्या पता. I'd like to welcome the panel, the elite panel, like I always say. And today we ensured that we had only one elite fan per elite club, and Kush and Chelsea also. So we then first invite the exception, Kush Shah from Chelsea FC, all the way from Stamford Bridge, from East London. No, West London. No, South. What London? West, right?
अरे West London.
West London.
First get your geography right, then call us elite or
I don't
non-elite.
give a damn.
How many years since you last won Premier League?
How many opponents above you in the table last time?
That is fine. Last season, how many years till last
in
won Premier
the
League? Let's
present,
start with
man.
that.
How many Premier League in
That's
total?
Podcast with that. That we have 4 Premier Leagues here. That is how what we.
ये Chelsea fan
Now
है.
you will go.
मैं
Now
fourth
you will
वाली
start.
कर दिया.
और नहीं
Now
है.
you will start with golden thing. Golden only you have. So now what will go there or what?
We have 12 Premier Leagues.
I
Come on.
think you can also go to Europe.
Hey, Chelsea.
Then we'll go to Europe.
Okay.
Of course I can go.
So I think we should respect each other. It's not the good way to,
Exactly.
Anyway,
Correct
banter
your
aside,
statement.
really looking
Correct
forward,
your
Kush,
statement.
to listening to your thoughts. I mean, it's been a crazy roller coaster season last year, and this season a lot of changes. We will start with that, of course, but after the introduction. So welcome, Kush. Looking forward.
Looking forward. Yes.
And
Exciting.
then we welcome, after a long time, to our elite panel, the OG, founder group, from the OG founder group, Mr. Vajani, all the way from Old Trafford, Manchester United. Welcome back, Harsh. How do you feel? How do you feel about United and the new signing, Hoylund?
It is good to be back. Thank you for having me. Waited a long time to get back on this podcast bit. We'll try to keep up more appearances.
Yes, we like having you as well. Looking forward to your thoughts, your hopes for the season. And next we have from Anfield. I don't know if you've been following, but Europa ka Twitter handle, the admin is somewhat of I think a United fan or Everton fan, but every day they keep posting Liverpool content. So this change from being so successful to a non-Champions League season. Looking forward to your thoughts, Shrenik. But a lot of changes as well in the midfield has completely changed from what it was to what it will be. So looking forward to your thoughts, Shrenik.
वो यूरोपा लीग वाले हैंडल को थोड़ा पब्लिसिटी चाहिए, इसके लिए हम लोग लिवरपूल का पोस्ट डालते हैं.
एंगेजमेंट तो मिल रहा है उनको, सही बात है.
एंगेजमेंट चाहिए ना, तो दैट इज दैट एंड प्रोसेस है, आएंगे वापस धीरे-धीरे.
Yeah. Welcome back, Shrenik. And last but not the least, we have a neutral fan who is not a Premier League club fan, who is a Camp Nou Barcelona fan. Interesting times for him. He asked me for some money yesterday so that he can forward it to Barcelona and they also asked Dembele for some of his transfer fee. All of this happening at Barcelona. And Camp Nou is also getting reconstructed, right, Deepesh?
Yes.
उसका पैसा कहाँ से आया बे?
Spotify ने
सबको Spotify पे
Morgan
जो
Stanley
कारीगर काम करने आ रहे हैं उनको बोल रहे खुद ही पैसा लेके भी आओ, काम भी करो और फिर चले जाओ.
रोज जो वर्कर आ रहे हैं डेली वेजेस मिल नहीं रहे, वो लोग को डेली वेजेस देने का.
इन लोगों का ट्रांसफर पॉलिसी जैसे ही लेबर पॉलिसी रहेगा. जो आर्सेनल फैन है वही लेबर. तुम फैन होना, काम करो फ्री में. आर्सेनल बोल रहा हूँ, आर्सेनल.
बारसा में बोला आर्सेनल क्यों?
Welcome, Deepesh. We look forward to your neutral opinions about the league, about last season, what you think will happen. As usual, elite thoughts. So looking forward to it, Deepesh.
Thanks.
And
Also, don't be biased about Chelsea. Okay, give a good opinion. Nonsense. If you hate a club, you start by
for context,
nonsense.
guys,
Give a good
Deepesh
opinion.
absolutely loves Chelsea Football Club. As a club, as an institution in general, is a big fan of the club. Never says anything
Very
wrong
big
about
fan.
them.
No, bigger than me. Bigger fan than me.
Just like Saurabh.
I'm not too vocal
Abey, he's
about it.
not as biased as you. Okay, Deepesh Wadhwa
Yeah.
nonsense. Being an is not as biased as what you are. Fucker.
Deepesh just needs a chance to criticize Chelsea as an institution,
Chelsea.
not as a
हाँ,
footballing team,
nonsense.
as an institution.
तो कोई फुटबॉलर अच्छा खेलेगा तो वो अच्छा कभी नहीं बोलेगा खराब क्या है ये चेल्सी चालू हो जाता है साला
But you deserve it also. Anyway, okay, we start with
Fuck you.
Chelsea Football Club and Kush. What I'll do is I'll share my screen and I'll show the, what do you say?
The
The
transfer.
the transfers out and in so far. Let me
Okay.
know
I also have it.
once
I also
the
have it
screen
with
is
me,
up.
but
Is
if
the
you have it
screen up,
ready.
guys?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can see that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
this is the page I also had
Yeah.
open.
Yes. So we can start
Good.
with the outgoings first. Kush, crazy outgoings in terms of deals as well. What I'll do is
Yes.
I'll maybe look at the fee. Can we change the currency of the fee? It's in rupees.
Not an issue. I can convert it into millions. But
Yeah,
वही
yeah.
फिर वो डॉलर्स मिलियन नहीं हो पाएगा but ठीक है.
Anyway,
It
that's
will be
okay.
rupees.
I think I know. So, starting right from the top, some of your, beloved players who won you the Champions League. Kush, you can run through this, all yours.
So see, one of the major disappointments, if at all I can say, is Mason Mount. Did not want him to go. But having said that, I think there has to be something which is
How
going.
about Kai Havertz?
I'll come to him. Let me come back to someone whom I actually thought was a proper Chelsea. Na?
Yeah.
So Mason Mount is someone whom I'm actually sad going like after Juan Mata, you can say, who went to United also. Mason Mount is one player which we are sad losing. But having said that, we never know what went behind the curtains. Like
Yeah.
what were the terms which he was given, and if he's not happy with the terms, I think it is best for both the teams to both the parties to having happened whatever has happened. I think he should be happy with what he's doing, and I don't want him not to be 100% and playing for Chelsea, because what we saw last season was, I think we can blame the managers, but I think the players also were not giving their 100%. After a point, they were just trying and formally playing out the Premier League and all the other club matches which were bound to happen, because of course they are being paid on a weekly basis, coming and doing their job. Khelo, go back home, listen to the criticism, come back. I want someone passionate in the club. Of course, people who are passionate were injured, out injured. Rishi James, Chilwell, in and out, in and out. So again, a very disbalanced Chelsea last season. And I think all the players last season who played and who were not in passionately involved in the club have been sold off. I think proper revamp has happened, hoping that all these young generational players which have come, which we have
Yeah.
signed, give their best at least. If not passionate, I can understand people are not passionate about Chelsea Football Club at the young age because we are not that big a club. But
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
I
whoa,
think
whoa.
at least the passion. Yeah, because I cannot expect a 19-year-old to say that
Yeah.
I am wanted to play for Chelsea since I was born. It's
Until and
always
unless
Barca.
he is from, Africa, who's a Drogba fan or, so something like
Yeah,
that.
an Ivory Coast fan
या
or
वेस्ट लंदन
Ivory
का है
Coast.
कोई जो ऐसा सब
या फिर सर वो वेस्ट लंदन में भी फिर बहुत सारे क्लब्स हो जाते हैं, फिर देन दे गो टू द रूट्स ना, फुलहैम से होता है किसी का कनेक्शन या कुछ और होता है, बट एनीवेज. So yeah, having said that, Mason Mount is one disappointment, but
Yeah.
again I said that we have that. Coming back to all the other players which
Yeah.
went,
I'll maybe
like
take one names, right? Maybe we can talk about I can talk about Kai Havertz since Arsenal, I'm happy. I'm
yes,
looking forward to his role actually more than anything. But yeah, about your thoughts in terms of him leaving, that winning
see,
Champions League final goal, all of that, Was it
yeah,
emotional?
but this is no, no. See, I'll say it wasn't that emotional because see, Kai Havertz, we all having were
No respite.
frustrated. I will not lie. I'll not lie. No, no, not respite. See, he's a good player. He
Yeah.
did give us those Champions League goals, and also he was good when he was good, but he was pathetic when he was bad. Okay,
Yeah.
so he was not that uh, a player which I am very sad at losing, because looking at Mason Mount and the likes of Kovacic leaving, oh my God, Kovacic is another big loss
Yeah.
which we have in our midfield, and which we haven't replaced yet. I think we still need a CDM, a pivot CDM who will go back and front.
Casido.
And yes, I don't know what is up with Caicedo. Is it
65
happening? Is it
million,
not happening?
70 million, 75 million, 80 million,
80 million,
85 million.
85, 95. I
Yeah.
don't think they'll go down anything
Hold
below
on.
100, but hoping, fingers crossed, that something like this, someone is signed at that midfield, because then we don't have one. We'll have that one piece missing, because we have had a very good transfer. I would say, like, we would not say the best of the transfers, but the people whom we wanted to recruit, we have recruited at the
Especially the
positions
front
which we want.
line, which was your weakness.
Yes,
Now you have
very much.
Nkunku
So we
also,
have
who's come in.
Nkuku is there. Jackson is
Nicolas
too good
Jackson.
in the preseason. It's beautiful, the link up plays and all which you've seen in the preseason. A very good player, likes of
Madueke.
Drogba coming in, likes of Giroud coming in Nicolas Jackson. That instinct he has. Let's see how he goes in the 38 game long
Yeah.
season.
I'd like to ask
So
Vajani before we go forward about Mason Mount, right? About his feeling of having Mason Mount at United. I remember when it was official, he wanted a striker, but he didn't necessarily express his opinion of having Mount. So now that you have a striker also, now how do you feel, about having
Yeah.
someone like a Mason Mount at United?
Yeah, so it's always good to have a quality such as Mason Mount in your team, and especially if the link up plays well with him and Bruno, it is a treat. And with a young striker up front, the attack is something that I really look forward to with this new Manchester United. Because over the years we have only seen Falcao, Cavani, Ibrahimovic, Ronaldo, all towards the fag end of their careers coming in as a striker, and now to have a 20-year-old up front with young attacking midfield players is going to be a treat for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Dipesh, your thoughts on especially these three main transfers, right? Before we go into the Saudi group who went out together, but the Kai Havertz's, the Mason Mounts, the Kovacic's, what do you feel about that? And you can also
I
maybe
think
transition
Kovacic
into
is
the Saudi group. We can take it forward from there.
I think Kovacic is a very good signing for City, and it was
Yeah,
bound to happen because they wanted to replace Gundogan. Not a similar profile, uh, but yes, I think he fits in that role. And I think Mount is a very good signing for United. He is a
I think
amazing player. Yes, yes, Shrenik.
no, no, but
Yeah, I think Mount is a very good signing for United. I think he would he fits in the team, and he fits in the team very well after the striker has come in. And I'm not too sure about Kai Havertz, as Kush said that he has been very inconsistent. I never understood him as a player. I don't see him as a number 10, but I'm not too sure how would he perform. I think Arteta has got him, so he must have seen something in him. I think he would do good at Arsenal, but I've never understood his profile really. I don't know if he's a number 10 or
Yeah.
what is he exactly, so I'm not sure about it. Yeah, so I think was saying
Yeah.
something.
yeah, I think about across the three, I also feel Mateo Kovacic is one of the great transfers that any team could have, especially Manchester City.
Hmm.
They are people say they spend money,
Usual
but
internet disturbances.
they are too good at recruiting players which they want, and with the amount of money they actually paid for Kovacic is something not as high as what has gone
30 million.
for
Yeah.
maybe a Mason Mount or a Kai Havertz. And as Deepesh mentioned, not a similar profile like Gundogan, but under Guardiola, any profile can thrive, especially if they have chosen it. So I think that is the best one.
Yeah. If you're a dribbler in a Guardiola team, that's all he needs, right? He loves dribblers who can take out a few, who can excel in 1v1 basically. That's all he needs. And yeah, I think,
And Kova is anti-press. You cannot
yeah,
press
yeah,
Kova.
correct,
You
correct.
cannot press Kova.
Which is what Gundogan also was, but Gundogan also had a final product to his game. And Kovacic has a good ball strike. He has a good strike in him, but just that he hasn't
He
been
does not
given
have a
that
final
role.
product,
Yeah, but maybe
but he
he
never
can
has.
explore that at City. And
Definitely.
just want to touch on Kai Havertz. I think Kai Havertz been uh, hasn't been justified his role at Chelsea because he was very unfortunate with respect to not having a striker full time in front of him at any time during his established striker at any time during his career. So he had to fill into that void. Initially it was Tammy Abraham. That season went well. You all won the Champions League and he did well,
Yes.
etc. Then Lukaku came. I mean, he was nowhere. I mean, he just had to go. And until Lukaku was starting, it was a great season for you and also Kai Havertz, right? Until
Yes.
December, I think you were top that season. Then, as soon as Lukaku was off the team, Kai Havertz had to fill in that role, and it was that unbalance. Couldn't justify
Right.
it. Similarly, last season, Oba, and I mean, he couldn't justify whatever. I feel
Definitely.
that was the case, which eventually led to Kai Havertz losing his confidence as a player. That's really important for us. We do not have height up front. All our front three are short, so we needed that height up front, and we needed runners in behind. We also didn't have necessarily runners. So Kai Havertz is both of that. Now let's see if he can chip in to that role, or if he's playing midfield, never know. Xhaka, some
Where
say
is
he's
he
a
playing
Xhaka.
in the?
Preseason,
Where
he
is he
played in
playing
the
in the
Xhaka role,
preseason?
but right behind the striker.
Okay.
No, he did not help
Acha.
in terms of build up. He was just behind the striker
Okay.
mainly, and he scored 2 goals in 4 games.
As
And
a
no,
as a cam.
as a left eight, yeah, not necessarily a lone cam because he had Odegaard in besides him.
Ha. Exactly.
So
Odegaard
Odegaard
played
was the one
against
who
the.
thoda dropped. But yeah, anyway, my point being, it'll be interesting to see because Madrid was behind Kai Havertz, Bayern was behind Kai Havertz, Arsenal, they must have seen something with that profile, right? So let's hope.
Bayern, I can understand because of Tuchel, maybe because Tuchel loves
Yeah,
Sky Havertz,
true.
and that is the reason for Bayern. Madrid, don't know, but yes,
I see some similarity in Havertz and Ozil style of
Yeah,
play,
lazy.
and I think even the Arsenal fans would somewhat relate to that. Now,
Yeah,
the only thing that Havertz will have to do is actually show the style of play that both of them had was quite effortless. So if you play well, it was quite visible. But if it does not go in your favor,
yeah,
it can also look as they are not doing anything.
100%.
So
Fantastic
true,
point. Yeah, I agree. That's the
perfect,
body language
perfectly
that
put.
these players have. These
Yeah,
so-called what do you call gracious players who have that touch,
elegance,
elegance,
yeah.
elegance. Yeah.
elegant players.
Okay. About the Saudi group that was together taken out of Chelsea, which did a lot of favors for Chelsea in terms of FFP as well, but I don't know, maybe good for their careers as well, good for Chelsea. Not sure about their careers, but definitely good for Chelsea.
Good, great for Chelsea. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. A new opportunity which led to who would have thought about what then happened, with respect to the all the transfers that then went out to Saudi, other than Chelsea as well. So the group being, I'll just share my screen again. I think again, this is literally the starting 11 that won the Champions League for Chelsea. You have your
Yes, yes.
Kante, you have
Kante,
your Koulibaly, you have your
Koulibaly.
Mendy, you have
Yes,
yeah, a lot of folks there. So Kush, I'm sure. I mean, these folks have been just there recently at Chelsea, so no necessarily emotional connection. But what are your thoughts? I
yes.
mean, you're happy.
Ah,
You wanted any of them to stay. Kante, I can understand. Kante, you must be, yeah.
Kante. Kante is 1-1 again. So again, like there is 1-1 transfer each in all these groups, which I am very very disappointed. Like disappointed as a fan, not something that or nahi hona chahiye tha something. But yeah, you have that connection with these players. Kante has been great for us. He has been like a machine in the midfield for us. Someone who used to run down the final third till the goalkeeper's net. There is a player who used to not stop only. So and these kind of players are very very rare to find, and are also one in a generation players where they can come in and change the game. His tackles, his runs, everything was so perfect for us that we did not have to worry about our midfield at some point of time in that when he was there. And even when he was injured, after the injury he came back, he did not look rusty. He was
Yeah,
good enough and he was good to play. So I think we could have given him one more season, but again, having said that, Poch might have some different plans. He would want some different kind of players. So having respected his stance at what he felt for Kante, maybe it is good for him to go at Saudi and play, which is not so competitive as the Premier League. And maybe with his age and all, with his injuries, I think it
yeah.
is the best place
He
right now.
deserves it.
And
He's
with the
earned it
kind of
all.
money,
He's earned it all, and
exactly,
now
and
most
and the
likely
kind
he'll
of
just
money.
give it all to charity. Knowing him.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe try and build a new township at his hometown, whatever. Like he can do something like that. He's that kind of a player who will, he's very, very humble.
Unhateable.
Uh, yeah, you cannot hate that player. So I think it is good for him. Like he can, try and finish his career there, have
Yeah,
earn some good bucks,
yeah,
and
yeah,
not have that media pressure of having not performed well at some game, with that price tag. Because suppose if he came with that price tag at sub European club, the media would go behind him saying that Arey N'Golo Kante ye wo. But now
yeah,
he's
yeah.
gone to
Deserves it all.
a
On the
league
World
which
Cup,
is
Premier League,
fair.
Champions League और क्या है अभी
आई
चलो
थिंक
enjoy
और क्या
man.
चाहिए उसको एग्जैक्टली बाकी सब तो गए, वो तो सब फ्रॉड प्लेयर्स एक सीजन के लिए साइन करके हम लगते हैं। और क्या पता है सचिन कुलिबाली और वो सब, माँ कसम, मतलब यू गो एंड
हाँ.
प्ले। आई हैव नॉट कुलिबाली, व्हाट अ फ्रॉड साइनिंग मैन। आई जस्ट डोंट अंडरस्टैंड चेल्सी एट सम पॉइंट व्हाट द रिक्रूटमेंट, लाइक दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम आफ्टर मोरिनियो एरा and I guess वो तुचेल एरा के टाइम पे दो तीन साइनिंग वेयर वी हैव नॉट पैनिक्ड एंड बॉट सम प्लेयर्स ऐसे ही। वो न तो बीच में ऐसा कुछ भी खरीद ले, मतलब सब्जी लेने जाते हैं तो वो बोलते हैं भिंडी नहीं है, आलू ले लो, हाँ चलेगा, आलू दे दो, आज आलू का सब्जी खाएगा। क्या मतलब है? यू डोंट हैव अ प्लेयर विच साइन प्लेयर्स विच यू एक्चुअली वांट। आई डोंट जस्ट साइन प्लेयर्स फॉर द सेक ऑफ इट मैन। कोहली
Deepesh.
बोली आ गया, कितने सारे प्लेयर्स आ गए ऐसे कि क्या बोलेंगे। So many players, I don't even there's so many, this Fofana and all, this D Fofana
What
striker
is
भी
this आलू खाना man?
कितना। हाँ,
प्रोडक्शन का क्वालिटी ड्रॉप हो रहा है। आलू कांदा क्या है बे?
अरे आलू प्रोडक्शन का मतलब क्या,
Come on,
प्रोडक्ट
man.
आलू
It's
कंदा
food.
नहीं खाते क्या
What do you
प्रोडक्शन
mean?
वाले? What hell, what is wrong
I
with you?
think
What you are ravioli or what in food इनके खाने में ऐसा
while
ravioli मांगने जाते हैं क्या?
while we were discussing Chelsea, I think I noticed two things happen in the podcast. One, Dipesh tried to bring some sunlight into Camp Nou, so he has changed the background. And we saw another United fan enter the chat. Sahil Patel is back, and he's here
Woohoo!
to join and give some Sahara to Vajani with respect to his United thoughts. Sahil, welcome to the podcast.
Yes. Thank you so much,
Sahil, how
guys.
was your
Thank you.
date? How
Thank
was
you.
your date, brother? How was your
Two,
date?
There
two Red
was there
Devils is
was
too
no
much,
date.
man.
The good set of fans. Now one is outside United, one is inside United.
Yeah,
Don't know
yeah,
what.
we've covered both the areas.
Yeah.
Not like
पूरा
Arsenal, just the outside. But yeah,
He
good to be
said
back. Good to be
homage
back, guys.
to Papa Arsenal.
Someone
Oh.
going against Arsenal. I like this. Sahil Patel. That is good. I've been taken out a lot
मुझे
in
क्यों
the
तोड़ा?
starting of the podcast. I like this.
Okay, so I
But
think
yeah, yeah, good to be
before
back.
we jump into expectations of Chelsea this season, Sahil, your
Yeah,
quick summary about Chelsea's transfer window ins out. We covered it all, but your thoughts we'd like to hear.
yeah. No, so for me, this entire Chelsea saga that is happening with Saudi and everything involved, I just felt like a proper scheme that Chelsea did,
Chicken
right?
fund.
I
Chicken
like
fund.
it is just yeah,
No
it is
filter.
just summarized in, yeah, no filter, one word scheme, where you get in a lot of players, then you be like कि, oh chal, we are building this squad for 10 years, whatever, 5 years, 6 years, and then एक सीजन में you just be like कि अरे ये सऊदी जाएगा, ये इधर जाएगा, तो you just start sending players stating कि ये squad अभी हम वापस reinvent करेंगे, we are gonna get another set of new players, which I feel that next year again there will be Saudi bid coming कि अरे, so
On
I feel
8-year
this is a very
contracts.
good, yeah, I feel this is a very good black to white scheme, which I really like. I think there has to be given thought on how the economics of this works, because this is amazing. So But for me, one very important thing that
Hey,
happened
why
is
why are
Mason
you why
Mount
are you
to.
against speaking against Chelsea, man? It's not
Yeah,
right.
I'm not
He's
speaking
speaking
again.
again. What
I'm telling a good thing.
what
I'm
all in this proper scheme of 2 minutes you thought that this was everything for Chelsea? Tell me, Dipesh,
uh,
what positive could anybody take out from this?
man,
He
Morning
called it
just
a
want to.
scheme. He called it economics. He called it something turning from black to white to black or black to white. Where is some positive? Where is something to positive
No,
the
in
I'm
this?
saying
positive thing
why
is
are you
Team
saying
United are
against
very
against?
confident of the team.
The agenda
No,
against
but
Chelsea.
this is no agenda, but I think whatever he
This is no
summarized, this is
agenda.
perfect. And this is logical. This is nothing which cannot be not spoken about. This is something which is
Yeah, yeah,
fair,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and people come.
Absolutely.
I think this is a proper business which we have done. Where if we find, if you can call it a loophole,
Lakshmi
fine.
Chit,
Call it a
Lakshmi
loophole.
Chit
Call it a
Lakshmi.
Fund.
scheme. Call it a loophole. Anything. But we found out
Yeah,
a way to do it, and we have
agreed.
offloaded our players. And having said that, Sahil, this we have just offloaded players which we are not in contract with for 7 or 8 years. People who are there with 8 years with us are still with us, and they are not
Of
going anywhere,
course.
bro. We are just
And
Agreed,
our
agreed.
average our
And that's what I was
our
coming to
average
the.
squad size is 23, and that is also because Thiago Silva is 38, नहीं तो 22 पे आ जाएगा वो. ठीक है?
नहीं, agreed.
Wait.
I totally agree with Kush on that one point. Ki loophole find करके they are trying to exploit that, which is again a talent in itself, right? Not
Of
every club
course.
can do it. Not every club
Yeah,
has the guts to
money,
do that
money.
entire part. But one thing positive, which Dipesh you were saying, ki what is positive about Chelsea this season, pre-season, what I felt is Mason Mount coming to United. Whatever the fans, whatever everyone sees, I want to start on a very positive note on Mason Mount. So Mason Mount for me, whatever I have seen his games in preseason, we'll cover that in United as well. But so I can say that it has been underwhelming, right? But I see potential. I see a good potential, and I really want to thank Chelsea because one point they portrayed Mason Mount as their wonder boy. They are maybe future Lampard.
They
They are
had a this thing, no?
whatever
What do you call that push? Stadium ke baad banner on Mason Mount.
banner. Yeah. So I one point thought that there'll be a statue of Mason Mount in 4 or 5 years outside outside Chelsea Stadium. But now I think we need another statue of Mason Mount outside Old Trafford is what I believe his career at Old Trafford would turn
Great,
out to be.
great.
So I want
उसको
that.
डेविड बेकम से और वो सबसे कंपेयर कर लिया तूने अभी. तू देखते हैं
नहीं तो
सीजन इनके रिव्यू में
I
बात
want to
करते हैं.
be positive. I want to be positive, and for that this positivity is given by Chelsea, which I really liked in this preseason. So
Great.
I think yeah, these are my few thoughts on
Yeah.
Chelsea. Not
I,
much.
actually, to the side, I think Vajani had also touched on his thought about the transfer, and it was similar. He had also had positive expectations from him. So yeah, looking
Yes, yes.
forward to your detailed
Yeah,
thoughts during United section.
yeah,
Before we
absolutely.
end, I think expectations like Kush. What are your expectations out of it? I think the preseason has been very promising. You all won the PL Summer
Very
Series,
promising.
where your co
Yes.
mid-table teams were there in the
Fine.
competition.
Co-mid
So
table. Now you can again take a dig at us, but again Newcastle is playing Champions League. So then again, if you say, and then Brighton is again playing Europa, and also now if you want to take a dig, you can take a dig. But then still they were above us, if you saying, and
yeah,
they did play well last season. So whatever people have the rights to make fun of Chelsea right now because of
banker.
the position which we finished. Yeah, that's fine.
But to be
I'm
honest, I
open
think
to.
it was a good PL Summer Series, good preseason. You were very
Yeah,
promising. Nicola Jackson,
yes,
like you
yes, we
said,
were
and the
promised.
team seemed to gel.
Yes,
Pochettino, new. I mean,
yes.
it's hopeful,
Poch.
right, for you?
Yes, so Mudrik looks like the kind of player we
100
expected
million
him to
player, yeah.
be. Nicholas Jackson is something is looking exciting, and Kuku is looking promising. I feel only one thing which I think is
Colville,
not positive. Colville signing a new deal and staying with
fantastic.
us is a very, very big positive. That again means that again there is something happening behind the doors that Poch is trying and bringing and talking to players, because Colville did not seem keen on staying back initially with the things which we were going around with. It did not seem from his body language that he might want to leave Chelsea or something like that. But then again, after he came back from his Euros, uh, there were things which were happening, there were talks happening, and then he tried and played. He got this 2 preseason games, and he did perform really well in that. And of course, then after that, he has signed a 7 or 8 year contract with us, which is a great positive, because again it seems that this manager has a plan in place. See, we are not necessarily
He's
going for the
known to
title, but
nurture talent, Pochettino. So
talents.
that's good.
Yes, and we are being positive about this season. All our players are, coming out and saying that we are going for the title, which is great, which is ambitious. Which, of course, realistically, if we see, we might not be there still. But again, I think we are looking at top four. We are going to come back straight back in that top four, trying and taking someone's place, definitely for sure. Poch's games has been amazing. We have been very good with the games. So maybe that is going to happen. And I think I'm
Even
very,
he
very
said, right, in his
positive. And
very first press conference, he said, "Ki at Chelsea, you don't do processes. You just have to win. That is
yes,
it." So that's
yes, I think
very
that has been made very
ambitious.
clear by the top management, that you have to start from the word go. You cannot wait and try
If I
wait,
have to
because
ask
that is
you,
the pressure you come with.
you say ki what they're capable of. Blah, blah. What is your minimum expectation out of Chelsea in the league?
This season,
Yeah,
this season, yeah. So this season, I am will be very happy with my team finishing in top six, because now we can
minimum.
say that there are, yeah, minimum, we have top six good teams. So it could be within the range of first till sixth anywhere. So if we finish sixth, I'm not sad. If we
Okay.
finish first, I'm of course not sad.
Basically,
But so
minimum
that is the
Europa.
range. Yeah, maybe Europa next season. Europe, getting into Europe, I don't want to get into conference leagues, please. वो
Yeah.
लीग से बेटर है कि यूरोपा एम करो, या फिर जैसे ये सीजन फिनिश किया एकदम ही खराब नीचे परफॉर्म करो.
कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग
बट
में
आई
क्या
एम
है, तुम लोग का पूरा वो सेट खत्म हो, फर्स्ट क्लब टू विन द एंटायर सेट
नहीं
हो
नहीं नहीं नहीं
जाएगा.
चलेगा, नहीं नहीं, वो एंटायर सेट बाद में कंप्लीट करेंगे कभी, जब भी और 5-6 साल बाद अगर
चैंपियंस
वापस ऐसा
लीग,
एक
यूरोपा,
एक
कॉन्फ्रेंस.
आएगा. हम वी हैव अ ग्राफ रे, इट्स एक 6 साल का ग्राफ है हमारा. वी गो अप, अगेन वी ड्रॉप डाउन, अगेन वी कम बैक. सो अभी वो अप वाला ग्राफ चल रहा है, तो वी अगेन लुक फॉर
नाइस.
चैंपियंस लीग. सो आई विल बी हैप्पी विद टॉप सिक्स परफॉर्मेंस
ओके.
with our season, and let's see how the season starts. We have a good game in the first game of the season, Liverpool. So we'll have a good
Oh,
test on how
nice.
Poch approaches that game. We have a good so and the thing which is trying and giving me positivity is an excitement, is the kind of press conferences these players and the manager is having.
Yeah.
They are just bringing in a lot of positivity. Like, there is a lot of negativity about Chelsea from the press and the media, like how Sahil told about the transfers, about the Saudi group, and about all these FFP things. So there are enough negative things which come to Chelsea by the press and by the media. So as a group, what we need is to try and transfer positivity, which these players and managers are doing. So
Yeah.
this team looks like a team, proper team, where they are looking out for each other, not trying and calling out each other, and
Club
which
captain is Thiago
make
Silva, right?
I
at the moment, yes. But I think if looking at long term, sorry, Deepesh, just a second, I'll just finish it off. I
no.
feel for long term, if you want to give it this
Reece
season,
James.
let the Reece James be our club captain, because then if you're looking long term, let him begin with this season where we are transitioning, so that it will seem like a proper transition. Because then Thiago Silva is definitely a captain material, which I don't think he's going to give us all the games this season, right? So might as well give a club captain to Reece James. And again,
But
James
that
का
वही
the
होगा ना फिर.
injury
तुम
problem.
उससे अच्छा थियागो सिल्वा को बनाओ. Anyway, Silva won't play, so James will only wear the armband. So rather transition here,
Yeah.
and then he'll learn the role, not
Okay.
taking the pressure of a club captain. Then
It's
later,
good to have a leader like Thiago Silva, especially when you
Definitely.
are transitioning,
Right.
rather than having
Kohli
a
Dhoni.
young year.
Right.
Yeah.
So, hey, so whatever. So maybe that is for them to, and I guess it is Thiago Silva only. वो तो personally मुझे James चाहिए था. James or Chilwell not necessarily a captain material. Again, if keeps them, these both players have to keep themselves fit first of all, or else I might start thinking of Colville also as a club captain if he performs
Yeah.
this season, because he is also a good player, and a calm character. Not
100%.
because he's a good calm character. You need someone like, so a John Terry like player for a good 6, 7, 8 years. So let's see. Maybe
Yeah.
Thiago Silva will be the club captain. But yeah, so very positive and looking forward. Anything in top six is a good season for me.
Top
Yeah.
six. Dipesh, you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying, Kush said that there has been negativity in the media about the transfers and everything. But I think it's not a negative point. I think Manchester United and Barcelona and so many other clubs have struggled to let go of the players who don't want to, which they don't want.
Right.
Like Barcelona has been very
Even Arsenal.
has been trying to let go of Kessie and Torres and everyone. So Barcelona have not been yet able to let go of them. I think Chelsea has let go of majorly the old bunch of players, apart from Mount, Havertz, and one more
Kovacic.
player. But I think that's a yeah, Kovacic. Yeah, I think yeah. So I think it's a positive thing for Chelsea that they could let go of so many players. Where people don't clubs don't buy players who are old. They got a good price for them. Chelsea had let go of a lot of wages. Like these players were on a lot of wages, be it Kante,
Yes,
be it Koulibaly. I
yes,
think
yes.
that's a positive.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think we'll. Yeah.
negativity,
Push.
by negativity I mean all this, the thing about we not doing it fairly, Saudi PIF having a stake in clearly and everything. So that is the the media. So there was nothing positive coming out of what we came out in the last season, having finished where we did, and then again this media saga, and again this our owners not being passionate, not being like Roman Abramovich, and also nothing positive came out except when the Poch interview happened and the players started talking. So that is where I meant what I meant.
Yeah.
Of course,
Fair.
offloading players was a big positive, man. Such players who do not feel passionate about the club, please, you are ready to go, man. Don't
Yeah.
play for Chelsea.
We'll do a quick roundabout about your not expectation, you where you think Chelsea will end. Shrenik, what about you?
I think what Kush mentioned is something that I also agree with. The top six,
Okay.
probably more on the fifth and the sixth part, not directly going into the top four places.
Okay.
So that's
Sahil?
Yeah, same. I think top six is where I feel Chelsea will finish, and I think I agree with Kush on all the aspects, right? Like what he mentioned about how their entire expectations throughout the season is right. I just wanted to add just one point that with Poch coming in, right? What we've seen of Poch and what I have, like seen throughout this entire PSG and your Spurs.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah. So I feel that Poch will create that difference, right? He is that manager who works around with data a lot. He was that one manager I've read that he loves data and he has that entire process set. So I think Poch will create that difference in Chelsea's squad, and I think what we've seen in the preseason also, right? Chelsea are hungry, and I wouldn't be surprised. See, I'm saying that top six, but I wouldn't be surprised if they give it a good shot for the Champions League spot as well. Because their preseason was really good. I didn't expect that good of a Chelsea team. I just have seen like one or two matches, but whatever I've seen, I really liked it. So yeah,
Okay.
top six is what I feel, but wouldn't be surprised if they give it a good proper fight for the Champions League spot.
Okay. Vajani?
I would say about sixth or seventh is what I feel they will end up with surprises coming in from maybe a Newcastle
Hmm.
or some
Brighton.
other team like a Spurs, Brighton. Yeah,
Yeah. Fair enough. Deepesh?
Uh, Firstly, the league is very competitive. I think the top seven are very solid, which finished the top seven that finished last year. So I'm not too sure where Chelsea would finish, but I think they should finish in Europa League. But I think then again, the Premier League is very competitive. After Newcastle, it's Liverpool, it's Brighton. There are a lot of teams in the league, so I'm not too sure. I can just think of top two or three teams. Apart from that, I don't think I can predict
Okay.
anything about below them because the league is very competitive.
Right. Agreed. Even I feel, I mean, about sixth or something. I feel Europa, they might fight for the Europa. You never know where, Newcastle, Brighton would be this season, because depends, because Brighton, especially Brighton, because Caicedo depends on Brighton, Brighton depends on Caicedo, and Chelsea depends on Caicedo deal. So that's a triangle, right? So if Caicedo leaves, it will be difficult to Brighton to fill that void. And if he joins Chelsea, that's a crazy midfield they have. So it depends on that. But if they get Caicedo, they can push for top four. If not, I feel yeah, like Vajani, six, seven, around that area. And I like to end this segment by saying also it will be interesting to see the goalkeeper situation, Robert Sanchez and Kepa, how they'll compete with each other, and also the new centre back Disasi. So yeah, we can round up Chelsea, and now we go to our more populated fan base, the United fans, Vajani and Sahil Patel. Over to you guys. I'll just share my screen and show you all about the current status of United transfer signings. I think these are the outs. From what we see, I think Elanga was a good sale to Nottingham Forest. Again, Forest very active. Teles went to
Yeah.
Saudi. I think De Gea, one of your longest serving members, I'd like to hear your thoughts on De Gea and his replacement in Onana, of course. Fantastic signing that, personally, I feel. Sabitzer went back, Weghorst went back, Butlin went back. Other than that, no necessarily outgoings, but incomings, fantastic names here. If you look at, Johnny Evans. Being a free transfer, but yeah, just kidding. But Andre Onana, arguably one of the best keepers in the world at the moment, especially from his playing out from the back with his feet. Mason Mount, we touched upon when we discussed Chelsea, and Rasmus Højlund, your new summer, finally a striker signing, right? So over to you. Maybe Vajani, you can start. Then Sahil, you all can discuss among yourselves.
Yeah. So first of all, really have to appreciate Ten Hag for the way the last season has been. Being a top four finish with a domestic trophy in itself is a big win for us. So the expectations this year will be nothing less than that, obviously. And the transfer, when it comes to it, one good thing which has happened this season is that whichever position was where we targeted, we were able to get players and get quality players, unlike settling for players like the previous seasons. Like even in the past few seasons, we wanted players specifically for a role like a center back or a midfield, but
De
we had
Jong.
to settle. Yeah, so we had to settle for players other than our targets. But this season, that has changed. So we were able to target top players in Onana, in Mason Mount, in Hoyland, and all. So great transfer window. Bittersweet with De Gea going. So actually, I was just reading, and a fun fact was that with De Gea and Jones leaving this season, it would be after more than 2 decades that we would have been without a Premier League winner, and that
Oh.
is why we signed Johnny Evans back to, in order,
Nice.
so so that we don't break that streak. So yeah, bittersweet. De Gea was a legend, is a legend for us. To not have him in that number one position is obviously going to be sad, but uh, Onana is a great keeper to have. Yeah, we move on, and like many people have also been noticing the style of play. De Gea, a stopper versus Onana, ball playing keeper. So we would also would like to see how that transpires for United, because since De Gea was at the between the sticks for so long, we never actually knew what that play would be. So that is a new thing for us, and the midfield strong with Casemiro, Bruno, and Mount, and the attack. So definitely a great battle between Haaland and Hoyland this season is what I expect.
Yeah, Sahil.
I think Vajani has covered almost all the points which I had in mind. But yeah, few thoughts. One, De Gea leaving, so it was kind of a very bittersweet, because I remember, like, right from the start, when I've started supporting United, and there have been moments in that entire journey where Dave's saves was like very very crucial, and very, lot of times we've heard that, and it was actually Dave saves, because there were a lot of matches where David Dea literally, produced some amazing and absolutely out of this world saves. So I think that with that, you get attached to that player and that entire mentality of him. But I think it was time to go, because what we've seen last season with Ten Hag, he has a very proper set process in his mind, and for him, he needs that kind of player. So I think Onana is a fantastic signing. What we've done, we needed a ball playing keeper, and with what we've seen in Onana, I think he fits in the profile very well. So I just hope that whatever he has in mind, Ten Hag, he just Onana and every other signing that we've done, it just translates on the field as well. Because if that starts happening, I think we can really give a good fight for maybe for a title as well. We don't know, because last season it was quite for me at least, it was quite surprising, and it was quite like I was quite happy with the performance that team put in, right? Getting a top four and plus winning a domestic cup. But all said that, one important thing about Manchester United, what we've done is signed a 20-year-old striker after a very long time. Right, we always had, like, strikers or forwards coming in their 35s, 30s, and
Notice
everything.
period.
But a 20, yeah, but getting a 20-year-old
Promising.
good striker, good ball playing striker. And I've read a lot about Haaland and Holland comparisons and everything and all that, but I think they're very two different players. Holland is more of a player who roams in the attacking areas, and Haaland is a player who's just, he has that thing, like, he has his dominance in the penalty area. So there are a lot of differences in their playing style and everything. But yes, definitely comparisons would happen, and I expect nothing less than a good performance by Holland as well, because what expectation he has created in everyone's mind, that he's gonna come in, change the entire forward thing and everything. But I think that just itself says the pressure that the 20-year-old is gonna face. But I think that fans will back him up. They will give him some time to adjust and everything. So I think that is one of the good signings which I really like.
Yeah.
Another, I think, few thoughts which I feel that still we need one more good signing, and I think that's
Number
of
8.
Sofian Amrabat, right?
Number
The
6.
holding midfielder, yeah, the holding midfielder position, I
Gave up
think,
on
is still,
Casemiro.
we have Casemiro. Yeah, we have Casemiro. I'm not saying, see, but see, that's the thing. It's too dependent. It's like dependent on. So we've seen in last season also, when there's no Casemiro in that defensive holding midfielding position, it just becomes like, it is very easy for a team to get penetrate into our defense. And I think we need that Amrabat, and whatever I have been reading about him as well, he is also a very good transition player, like from the back three to getting the ball ahead and getting into that final third. I think that type of player we would need. So I just hope that that one transfer is something which I'm looking forward. But if not, till now, whatever we've done, we've invested, I think everything has been according to the tactics. And I wouldn't say that the management, like again, the management, whatever happens behind the doors, I'm still up for Glazers out, right? I absolutely don't want them to be our owners, because as I think David Beckham said it very clearly, that once your fan base decide that you don't want them to be like the owners, I think it's time for the owners to leave. And it is very very correct on Beckham's part as well, because the fans are really frustrated. So we don't want to keep that chant of Glazers out, protest and everything. I think it's time that they move out. But for now, the sync between the manager and the coach we have, right, Ten Hag, it's been really fantastic, and I hope that we just continue flourishing in this season. So yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Shrenik, I'm not sure if he's there or we lost him. Oh, he's there. So you came,
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
there.
as
He's
a
there.
as a Liverpool fan, outside in, looking at United, what do you feel about their season, about their signings? What are your thoughts?
I think they have done a good job after a long time. With their frustration with wrong signings, with signings happening, for forwards which are in their late 30s coming to just earn money. And I also believe that they have stopped giving money just for the sake of it. They are getting more and more competitive in giving contracts, not just because they have money. That is number one. So I think they have done a good job in the market getting players, the profiles that the manager really wants. Everything seems to be working for them well, except for one part, and that was one part that I want to talk about is not their club captain transition from Harry Maguire to Bruno
Good point.
Fernandes.
Good point.
I personally feel that Bruno Fernandes is not at all a captain material. I don't think he is the
Where is
right
my
fit.
popcorn?
I don't fit. He's exactly the right fit for that captain's armband. And this is what I feel personally. I think Manchester United fans might have a different opinion onto it. But especially when a club is into a crunch situation, whether be it in the match time in the game or whether it be after the match when they have lost heavily. One of those moments was last season where surprisingly out of the blue Liverpool made them suffer. I think onto the pitch, the captain really needs to translate into a big figure, which I don't think he really is. Necessarily, I also don't argue to the fact that Harry Maguire should also be the club captain because for some reasons that he's not fitting well into the club prophecy of how Ten Hag wants to play and everything. But I think they should probably have given Casemiro a thought for making them a club captain. But again, he's too early to given the captain's armband as well. So
Language
that is
also.
one thought I
Not
had
sure
on.
if he knows English.
Yeah,
वगैरह.
yeah. So that was one thing. But overall, I think apart from this particular point, Manchester United have done well, and especially what Vajani said, coming from a domestic win last season and finishing in top four. They look really strong. They look really inspired to go all the way. I'm not sure, or I do not really agree with Sahil's point of challenging for the title yet, but you never you know think anything that you will not be
Maybe it's
surprised of
your
in Premier League.
Liverpool conscience that not allowing you to think it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's
that
not,
only.
yeah, I think it's not only about Liverpool conscience, but it's also about the surprises that happened last season.
Yeah,
You
agree.
never know what can happen this season as well. But overall, they look really a strong club. Really look like the Red Devils are back, and I'm now really excited to go as a Liverpool fan, go to Old Trafford and perform well.
Again.
So yeah,
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
I'm waiting for it.
Good thoughts. Kush, Deepesh, any of you? Oh, Deepesh is just trying to join in. Kush, if you have any thoughts on United, their sound, the transfers, preseason, your expectations from them,
The
yeah.
Yeah, so their transfers have been really nice, right? Are you getting the disturbance or this is fine?
Yeah, there is some disturbance.
So then I'll talk after Deepesh
No
speaks. Maybe
problem,
this
no
will
problem.
cut
Yeah.
off back.
I just think I'm asking Manchester United fans, do you need another centre back uh, for yourself?
Ideally, yes.
Yeah,
But yeah, ideally, yes, because the backups that we have are in Lindelof and Maguire.
yeah.
So although Lindelof was not the signing that we
Enough.
expected, he has improved over time, no doubt about that. But still, we could have a better centre back any day.
Yeah, I was thinking that United almost have a perfect transfer window. They have a goalkeeper which they needed desperately. They have a striker which they needed desperately. They also chip in with Mount. But I genuinely think that United need a centre back, not necessarily a world class centre back, but at least a good backup. I
And there's
think
a
it
huge
would be a
market for that as well, if they want to sign.
Yeah.
yes. And I think if they get a centre back, then as someone said that I think they could challenge for the league for sure. That is what I think. And obviously, United have been linked with Amrabat. Uh, he was one of the finest players in his position in the World Cup.
Yeah,
Um, like obviously everyone saw him and how he played for Morocco. I
yeah,
think that and a centre back. I think
yeah.
United would be challenging for the title along with Arsenal and City. That is what I think.
Yeah, yeah. I think if any of you do not have any thoughts, maybe I can speak about United. If any of you have any thoughts,
Yeah.
please. I think,
Go
see,
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
personally, since last season, since Eric Ten Hag was appointed, right? I've understood Eric Ten Hag at Ajax. I was really hopeful. He's a great manager. When he signed for United, I instantly knew it was a great signing. But deep down, of course, I didn't wanted to work. I won't say I didn't want it to work out. I was worried that it was at United. Eventually, I am a fan of Ten Hag, but it's at United. So it was that feeling. But I was always excited as to what job he can do at a club like United, which is not necessarily supported the right way from the top, right? The right way. I'm not saying not giving money, but in the right way, like signing the right folks, recruitment strategy, the training facilities, all of that. So I thought, can someone come in and change the culture of the club? Ten Hag was that personality, but then I maybe thought English aata nahi aata. But then from his first press conference, I was absolutely excited by this boy, and then I wanted to look at how he's going to handle Cristiano. Then he handled Cristiano. I was like, he's ticking all the boxes for me that an elite manager at an elite club should do. He ticked the Cristiano box. Then I was like, will he straight away, inculcate his positional play principles that he had at Ajax at United? He didn't. He played according to the squad that it was a transitional, based on Rashford's strength. It was not necessarily maybe the right approach for a process. For that season, it worked, right? As far as Rashford was clicking, it worked. But then these things turn out to be loopholes when Rashford is not clicking or when he's not performing. Then you need the entire system to work. But now, then I had even first after the first 10 games, I remember I put in the group, this team needs a ball playing keeper. How much ever you love De Gea, how much ever whatever he says, Eric Ten Hag needs a ball playing keeper who can help, the take the line a little more up so that the game can be in the other half. And Harry Maguire, I'm a fan of. I don't know, for some reason, he's not been played in the right profile. He is one of those defenders who can help it. But Lisandro came in. And, what better than a ball playing centre back than Lisandro? Arsenal was linked with him. I was absolutely gutted that we missed out on him. But 65 million can't compete with that. But yeah, Lisandro came in there. But I was also happy that United did a United and signed Varane. So I was like, अरे इसकी तो जरूरत नहीं थी. Varane क्यों लिया? मतलब Varane is not a Ten Hag centre back. It's only about time that he will be replaced. It's a given that he will be replaced by someone. And also Casemiro. I was like, Casemiro last day 85 million. Tabhi I was like, this is a typical United signing, not a Ten Hag signing. Again, he's a great defender, great. If you're playing transitional games, he's your man. He's won 5 Champions League not for the sake of it, right? He can do that. But
Amazing defender.
at Madrid, he had a Cruz and a Modric who can play out, who can help in the build-up. He never was the person responsible for build-up. He still cannot build up. He is the one who can see out games. He is the one who can win you Champions League. कि नॉकआउट स्टेज में तुमको एक 1-0 हो गया, रैशफोर्ड हॉयलुंड ने मार दिया, तो कैसेमिरो डालो, बैठो, राइट? बैठो नहीं, मतलब कैसेमिरो डालो, he'll kill attacks, like he'll destroy attacks. But then for winning the league in the Premier League, you need better. You need build up. That's where Amrabat comes in. So this season, I think this is a whole, like Deepesh said, one right centre back and one number 6. If these two United can bring in, I mean, I won't be surprised to see them challenging for the title across the season, not like in periods. But yeah, let's see also how Hoyland works with Rashford, both pacey forwards. And another weak point could be right wing. Not sure if Anthony is the right man. Never sure that Anthony. He's a good player, but he's never a 90 million, 100 million player. Never in this lifetime is a 100 million player. He's a good backup to a 100 million player. वैसा, like he can be a good backup to Salah, good backup to Bukayo, something like that. But yeah, anyway, really excited. I don't know why, but I was really excited to see him lift the League Cup. I made a video on it, like separate video, like ETH का वो दिख रहा था मेरे को कि process का result आया. But I hate it that he's doing the right things at United. But I'm hopeful because of your hierarchy. They keep doing such random signings, recruitment strategies. So let's see where it goes.
I think what Saurabh said, they keep fucking up with the signings, but I think they have signed the right players this
This
time
year.
around.
Yeah,
This
100%.
time around,
So
obviously,
far.
it has to do with the manager. With the manager, obviously, I'm a big fan of Ten Hag as well. I think it has to do with the manager
Yeah.
that United have done the right signings. I think a backup centre back or maybe someone who could play
Leo Money.
instead of Varane, I think they would be so good in the
Yeah.
next season.
You look at preseason, literally they play 4-3-4, all 11. Basically, Onana becomes the right centre back or the left centre back, and one of the centre back pushes forward. So when it's Lisandro, it's smooth. Lisandro pushes forward, sub smoother. But when it's Varane or when it's someone else who pushes forward, it's an issue. They've lost the ball a few times and considered against Dortmund and all of that. So that is really important. Also, Van Bissaka, one of the best 1v1 defenders in the world, but one of the worst 1v1 attackers in the world. So maybe he can be that right centre back. Never know. Let's see. So yeah, expectations. Kush, do you want to chip in? Are you good to chip in?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, boy, I guess all of you have put in everything what I wanted to say. Like United have signed critical players at their critical positions which they have wanted. Having signed Onana, having gotten the striker which they have been wanting for forever. I have known United fans saying कि ये सब I have not. They were very happy when Onana came in, but like in the reply sections I could see कि भाई striker कब आएगा?
Now
Where
it's
is the
fallen.
striker? Onana is done. Where is the striker? And then they find a 20-year-old. I'm sorry, this is going to
No
happen.
issues. No
So
issues.
a 20-year-old striker, and who looks very promising. I just saw some videos of his on YouTube. Some
Yeah.
compilation, and he looks good. He really looks good, and he is a good. He has good height also. Like
Yeah.
he's a good, proper beastful striker,
Machine
which he
made.
seems
Looks
like.
machine made.
Yeah. So yes, so United have got their, the players
Men.
which they wanted, and again, having said that, ETH with what he did last season with the likes of Rashford and everyone, I'm very hopeful that it's United is going to just try and go for the title this season
Yeah.
because they are just going to go up and there is no looking back for them. And I'm hoping and getting rid of Dia is also a very big positive because wait, after a point, you need to let go of players, and you need to understand that fine,
But the
legacy is
situation
great.
wasn't handled well, right? There was some situation wherein he was given the contract, then they revoked it. Something like that happened.
In
Yeah, the
classic
situation
United, na.
was, yeah, I mean, you could
Sub-
literally see that controversy coming out of every
Could have been given a
single
good
step
farewell and
of
all,
the
no?
could have been like literally, and I think he deserved it. I think
he
he
deserves
should
the
have been
farewell, of
given
course.
a,
He deserves the
yeah,
farewell. But
absolutely he deserves it. But yeah, I
इस
mean,
बार
you
इस बार प्रिंट बराबर हो गया ना. इस बार बराबर फैक्स चला
Yeah.
गया. इस बार
The
फैक्स
game's the
मशीन में
game,
से
though,
नहीं.
right? The game's the game. You have to do what you have to do. Yeah,
Yes,
थोड़ा
yeah,
you
ठीक
have
है.
to do what you have.
So maybe start. Okay, so now we go to the expectations from United. Vajani, what are your expectations? Where do you think minimum expectations from United? You actually touched upon
Emotion,
it, but yeah, if you want to
yeah,
elaborate.
emotionally, obviously, win everything. But practically speaking, if I would say a number five finish would be unsatisfactory. A number four finish would be a moderate finish with a domestic cup. It would be the only consolation would be that okay, next year Champions League qualify. Kya. Number three would be the basic expectation since last year
Hmm.
we ended at that, so that would be like
yeah.
okay, good performance. Not good also. It would be like a satisfactory performance. Number two would be like a very good season for us. Like we've had a very successful season, and so that's it. I am keeping my hopes at
I
number
like I
two
like that
as the
outlook.
best.
Yeah, good, well presented. Sahil,
Yeah, I think same. I think for me, minimum expectation is to finish third in the league, right? Because that's what we did last year with whatever processes we had, and now we have obviously upgraded it. But that's my minimum expectation. But as Vajani said, I think winning all the cups, right? And I think somewhat I feel that in Champions League also because we have a good Champions League squad. I feel like, as you said, Casemiro. We have players who have had a good Champions League games that they have played. So I think I expect them to at
Winners.
least go into the semis, right? Like the top. The last four teams in the Champions League. So I really expect them to go at least in there. And obviously, I personally believe, and I don't know, maybe this is the year. I think this is the year where we will somewhat give a good fight to the league winner, and you never know, there might be a surprise and we might win it. So
Yeah.
this is being very hopeful, but I really feel that this positivity, I just want to put it out so that somewhat of it happens. So yeah,
Yeah.
these are my expectations.
Shrenik, relegate.
I think no. They have built a good squad, but I expect them to not finish above third, like third or fourth. Also, given the fact this is the best case scenario, worst case scenario because they are also playing Champions League and they do not have you know an exact squad to play all the tournaments and all the cups which they are aiming for. And if any major injuries happen to players like Casemiro or Rashford or something, they wouldn't be able to fill up the top four spots. So best case third or fourth. If injuries happen across the period of this entire four cups that they are entering into, which are the top competitions, I would prefer if injuries happen. Not prefer. I would say that they would finish out of top four.
Yeah. Deepesh?
I think with this current set of players, I think it's a solid third or fourth. But if they find a centre back to pair Lisandro, like a ball playing centre back, obviously Varane is good, but like a ball playing centre back, which Ten Hag, I think,
You
will
Monday.
want. I think
Mm.
I don't know if they are looking for one, or I'm not too sure. If they get a ball playing centre back,
I think if they
and
happen to sell Maguire, they have to, no?
yeah, they
But they've
have to. I
already
think
rejected a plea from West
in
Ham.
West Ham bid something. Yeah.
Because it
Uh,
was low, but I think they're willing to sell. Yeah. Yeah, Deepesh,
yeah.
sorry.
If they get a ball playing centre back, and if they sign a backup to Casemiro, I think they would push for. I think if they get a centre back, I think they can push for the league title. That is what I feel because
Yeah.
they have a good, amazing keeper in Onana,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the striker, but I have
Yeah.
seen his videos and read a little about him. So
Same.
I think he is good. He's um, a
Promising.
player who would link up with. Yeah, promising. That is what I was going to say. Uh, obviously, I've not seen him, but I'm hoping that he's good because it's under 10 Hag.
Yeah.
So I think they should finish in top three or four with
Yeah.
this team and would challenge for the title if they sign a centre back and a
Yeah.
backup six.
Good thoughts.
What
Kush.
about you, Saurabh?
Kush, if you wants to go first.
Kush,
Yes.
Kush.
So this, I think, first or second is something United will finish this season because the kind of squad they have, the kind of manager they have, the mentality he has. I have not. I have whenever I have seen him, he always wanted more from the players and the team. He's always keep pushing the players. So I think they are going for go for the title, which all the teams are definitely when they are starting the tournament. But practically, realistically, United would want to finish on the top, and I think top two spots this time, one of them would be United.
Okay.
The
Okay.
second I would reveal at the prediction time.
Yeah. I feel third at the moment, as of now, third. And like I said, if they get those two, they would challenge that. Those are my thoughts. And okay, we are good with United. We go straight to their rivals and our solitary fan ever since the start of the podcast for Liverpool. We have Kuwad.